always these vague phraseology of happy time words and things that people think sound good. And it's always demented decay and rot and destruction and manipulating and abusing your kids and just turning everything into a shit show. So yay. Yeah, at least we know they're efficient parasites. They learn from the best. Old Timmy Walz never held a real fucking job in his entire life. And then he makes, okay, I wonder how many different sources you can find for accurate predictions of the Rwandan genocide, because he seems to think it's his magic geography computer that predicted it.
The Rwandan genocide. Yeah. Do a quick summary of that.
Oh, if I remember,
I don't want to just go too far down, but yeah, I'm not very familiar with it myself.
It's in the 90s. The country used to be called Botswana, and you had two tribes, the Hutus and the Tutsis. If I got the country and the tribes right, it doesn't really matter. One side basically violently took control of the government and decided to exterminate the other ethnic group in their country. It's just an all-out execution of. It's like. I don't know the number I want to say 800,000 people from the opposing tribe.
What's the name of this again?
Just murdered.
Yeah.
By the henchmen of the people who had taken over the government. Absolutely just hideous garbage. You don't even need to know the details. It's just people taking control of the government and then murdering another ethnic group. His geography computer is so smart that they predicted it. I'm guessing that there is an innumerable number of people who were doing political analysis.
It doesn't sound like a geography computer.
No. The guy's an idiot. I'm sure there were plenty of other people who made that exact prediction. And you know what? You don't even need to know. You don't even need anyone to make a prediction. The theory about how these types of people operate and the decisions that they make and their reasoning has already been explained. When you separate means on the basis of economy and politics, the further you drift towards the political, the less impact the economic has, and the higher and thinner the pyramid gets until you have an ultimate head of the degenerate, violent methodology that these people really have in their heart, and people just start getting murdered by the state. It's the inevitable conclusion because they don't believe that there should be any restrictions on their power. So when they say democracy, isn't it funny? The people making the claims to protect democracy are the ones who don't even follow their own primary rules for selecting their nominees. They're always lying. We're going to protect democracy. Well, why? You don't care. But you have to protect something that you denigrate in every policy you've ever generated. They don't want anybody to be able to make their own decisions or get together in groups to make choices about how they want to do things. No, it's their ideology from the demonic tower that sits atop their twisted university academic environment, and you either accept it or we're going to demonize you and make you an enemy of the general population. And then what we're going to do is we're going to propagandize all those slow-witted people to treat you that way and make your life miserable.
Right. Do you think any of these politicians actually start off with good intentions when they're younger, or maybe even when they get older and then decide they want to, get into politics or run for city council, whatever it is, and they see the evil that takes place in the system and they realize the only way to make it to the top is just to subscribe to all the bullshit, so they just go with it?
I'm sure there's plenty of them.
Yeah.
But the only ones that you
think Timmy Walz was like that, or
no?
You think he's just been evil since the beginning?
He's just generally a terrible person. I mean, I don't know. I get very little inherent positive feeling from anybody who goes from school to military to school to public policy. Those are not real jobs.
What the fuck are you doing? Talking about they're not real jobs.
They're not real jobs.
How are they not real jobs?
Do you want to?
They're real jobs.
Really?
Working in the school is a real job. Teaching's a real job.
Would you voluntarily pay someone to be a liar in the military?
What?
No, not a
Talking
job.
about? Okay.
Would you
No.
would you voluntarily pay someone to teach geography without teaching geography? No, not a real job. Being in Congress, not a real job. They're all full of shit. They lie to everybody, and then becoming the governor of Minnesota and signing all of that demented garbage into law, not a real job. The dude is 100% of his adult life, he has been a direct dependent on government spending. He's never earned a penny in his life. He's been given money for being in a position and never actually lived up to the requirements of the position. So how could you say he's ever worked a real job?
Because he got a paycheck, damn it.
Oh, okay. Look at all the positions I held.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Kamala.
I got my W-2s.
Yeah, Kamala, boy, you had all those great positions, but you've never done anything. You've never done a goddamn thing. You slept with some public officials.
To get
that's
to the top.
closest. That's the closest thing Kamala's ever done to a real job. Prostitute. That's her real job, was prostitute. But it's just stuff. My blood is boiling after having gone through that video. So then he with the endless autobiographizing of everything. Like, if I tell you my personal story, that makes all this bullshit mean something. It's like nobody cares about your stupid story.
There is some value learning about somebody's story and origins, especially when you're voting for them to be the leader of the country.
Okay.
And I would actually think, this is something I've been saying for a while, I would like to hear more of the redemption story side of politicians. I always hated how they always pick these people that have supposedly lived this perfect fucking life, and they have like one bad thing that came up that happened 30 years ago, and the opposing candidate like runs a shit ton of campaign ads about it. I always hated that. Like, to me, a leader should, through adversity and come out of it a better person.
All he's done is create adversity.
I know. No, but you see what I'm getting at, though.
He's never suffered anything.
I'm not talking about Tim Walz specifically. I'm talking about the value in providing your story as a politician, as someone who is running.
Okay.
And like, there's value of telling you my story. Like, you know what, Phil? I have been through adversity. I was a piece of shit. I hit rock bottom, but I'm not that guy anymore. I climbed my way out. And together, we're going to climb out.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So,
you see what I'm getting at? Like,
one question.
Okay.
Does that depend on the context within which you do the biographizing? You're just telling this stupid personal story. Depends on the situation, right?
Yeah.
So if you're the keynote speaker at a conference,
okay, there's a time and place for it. Is
exactly.
What you're saying. Okay.
But these people, they never read the room. It's just always my story. Everywhere they go. I mean, listen to Kamala's stump speech. I mean, Jesse Waters did a great bit. I think she did 2 speeches in one day in Wisconsin. The exact same speech.
So?
Didn't change a word.
It's like a DJ playing the same set.
Yeah.
Oh
my
God.
God.
Want to do that.
It's so bad. Back to the geography computer, right? Because this guy he knows everything.
Well, are you pretty good at geography?
I think I'm fairly literate as far as geography goes. Yeah. That's what I'm about to bring up here.
Okay, let's go. I was going to say, I wonder if you could beat Tim Walz in a geography test.
Well, see, if he wrote the test, it wouldn't be a geography test.
No, he's not writing it.
It would be an agreement with leftist propaganda test. That's what it would be.